If I had to summarize my landscape design philosophy, I think it would be that the designer has to be in very strong interaction with the site, which is the property that you're developing, and really get to know the client closely. And in my experience, the most successful designs are the ones where you have a triad, where you have the client, and you have the site, and you have the designer. And the three of them work together to produce a design product that is unique to that interaction within that triangle. It's a very unusual sensation to be up there with all that grass and then suddenly be standing looking level with treetops. It's not something we're used to. This is a very exciting project to me because it represents a big change that's happening in the paradigm of landscape design. We're in a period right now where global warming is a concept that more and more people are beginning to accept. People are thinking a lot more about sustainable landscapes, about saving water, about using regional plants, and about trying to not make a huge imprint on the earth. And this project exemplifies that in a lot of ways. Some of the things that I really like about this design are the use of grasses en masse. A lot of times gardens can get so detailed and so fussy that you literally can't take them all in at one visual sweep. But here I look at this and I see the same plants used over and over again, and it almost feels like a perfect blend of like nature coming right up to the house. When you look out over the roof and you look at the surrounding landscape, you see a blend between the garden and surrounding natural hills. It almost feels like the landscape beyond the house is part of the garden, because you see a flow that goes directly up over the top and makes the hills feel like they're every bit as much part of the owner's landscape as his grasses are.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah. And these grasses, there's an ongoing wind up here almost all the time, right? And they will tend to dry out the heads, and of course they'll start flowering. So pretty soon they start getting, the tops of them start getting kind of golden, which it works out really well. They're still they're evergreen grasses. For fire danger, we wanted to keep an evergreen that we didn't have a lot of dead biomass up here, but the tops start to get a little bit more yellow and golden, and they really do start blending. Green roofs are complex by their nature. It's a system of multiple layers involved in waterproofing, drainage, lightweight soil and plant material. So there's a lot to learn about green roofs. I think that everyone should get involved and learn more about green roofs and not be intimidated to maybe think of them starting small on a doghouse or a garden shed or a garage rooftop, and look at the different systems and different things that might be applicable for your different situation, your different type of buildings. We started this project in 2005, and it took the better part of a year to install and plant.
Was this the first grass roof you ever put in?
Yes, that's our first experience, and I think it was a very fun project to do, and I believe if I do it, anybody can do it. We see results for almost 4 years, and it's working, yes.
This green roof incorporates a geoweb system, which is a polyethylene kind of honeycomb plastic with holes in it that stretches out, and you fill it with soil, and it's wonderful for providing a firm surface that allows you to walk on the roof without compacting the soil. It's very durable and sturdy, so on a sloped roof especially, this will help support the soil from sliding off the roof. And subsequently we went on to design and install about an acre of meadow in ornamental grasses, and then we also built a natural pond.
This solar panel, I believe, is powering the irrigation controllers. The irrigation controllers that they have in this project are hooked up to a GPS system that goes to the National Weather Service. And the National Weather Service measures the evapotranspiration rate, the ET rate, on this particular location, and then tells the controller how much water to dispense. Primary source of water waste in residential gardens are irrigation controllers that are programmed to stay on for too long. And so by telling the controller when there's enough water down, an enormous amount of water can be saved.
This has a lot of wind up here, so we had to account for that. We used grasses and weather tracked irrigation system with that. For another green roof, sedums might be more suitable, low-growing succulent plants. And some green roofs are deep in the depth of the planting and can support also some vegetables or even small trees. How your structure is built will determine too how much weight you can put on the roof. But it's certainly something to explore and to look into and find out what options that you might have for your own roof. But go ahead, feel free to climb on up there and take a look here.
I'd like to talk about some of the grasses that are planted around here, and rather than talk about them in a species-specific way, I'd like to look at it in a broader context. California as a state is largely a grassland, and if you drive anywhere from Los Angeles up through the Central Valley, up through Sacramento, and all the way up to the Oregon border, primarily the main thing that you see are rolling hills and the oak and the bay savanna. And so if you think about what the character of the state is really based on, the grasslands are a huge part of that. In fact, it's sort of ironic because most of the grasses that we do see planted, the ones that turn golden brown and are the basis for California being called the Golden State, are actually from Europe. It's a grass called poa that came from Greece and Italy, worked its way over to Spain, and when Spanish settlers, Columbus and beyond, came over to settle the New World, they brought the grasses over with them, sometimes as feed for the cattle, sometimes inadvertently they just got brought over in the packing crates. And when settlers spread to California, essentially the grasses came across the country, and a lot of them simply took over the United States, so many of the grasses we have aren't really native. But California, in fact, had a lot of native bunch grasses. And the use of the bunch grasses here, I think, almost recalls the history of the state somewhat.